Hey everybody, welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Scott Huntsman.
And we are here at the Bonneville Garage. It's the automotive program at Bonneville High School in South Ogden. Why here? Well, because we have delivered the turkey and they are going to give us back the eagle.
That is the goal at the end of it, isn't it?
That's exactly right. So Brett Hermansen has covered the bodywork on this. He's made it look all pretty. And now it's Scott's turn to make it run pretty.
Now it's in my hands.
That's
now
right.
It's in my hands. But you know, I get the fun stuff because I don't have to pull it out. And I think it's the best thing about this program is they've got a great facility. They've got great students. They've got a fantastic instructor. All I get to do is just build the horsepower and the torque. Right. But these guys are going to carry it off. So I say, hey, why don't we talk to these guys and see what this program's about?
We're at Bonneville Garage. This is an exciting situation going on. We have one of 5 large projects going on throughout the summer. So we're restoring this RV, not the full part. As you can see, the auto body's already been done, but the engine, that's what we were asked to do, is to help drop and then put in a new engine in there. And so it's an opportunity for my students to learn something that is beyond even my knowledge. And we've had some experts come in and working with my students one-on-one. It's not just wrench turning, it is the soft skills that we need to know. Those are the things that the mechanics need to know or the technicians need to know is one, how to talk to somebody, how to answer the phone, showing up to work on time. Those are the things that everybody in the industry is like, oh, I really need this. And my kids are getting that because one, we're here after hours working on this. These are kids that are dedicated beyond what curriculum says, and they're now learning that in addition, and so they are prized students. For 5 years in a row, we have been the top shop for the Rocky Mountains through Tomorrow Tech magazine. This year, we won Shop of the Nation, but we're also doing a rat rod build to be a part of the Guinness World Record for this summer. They're doing a big gathering and cruise. We're also restoring an old 1960s rail car with the Richard Erickson Foundation. We're also building a 1950 Mack fire truck for the Great Race. We're hoping to enter in 2024. So those are some of our big projects. And then of course, every student gets to direct their own project in the shop. So we have about 42 active projects. Each one is managed by a student and their student teams. And we meet every other week and we, just like a board, and we go over each project. So the students are learning management skills. The students are learning how to do task management, resource management, how to reach out to industry and get donations to get these projects progressing. So on the motorhome, so I presented it to my student leadership. It's like, hey, this is an opportunity we could do. We have some of these other projects that we would have to put on for another year or so. How do you guys feel about it? And so my student leaders discussed it, and then they came back and said, yes, let's do it. And then I contacted, and then sure enough, there it is, right behind me. And once again, I run it through my students because this is a student-run program, and that should be, because that's where they're learning those skills, beyond turning a wrench.
As you can see, this is a great program. Adam's a great instructor. This is a dream auto mechanic shop for any student. So while they're continuing their work on the motorhome, why don't you guys check out this story coming up.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are at the Bonneville Garage, Bonneville High School in South Ogden. And I just thought it'd be good for us to recap for a moment the saga of Road Force One. Okay, this started over a year and a half ago, if you'll recall, when I called Brett Hermansen and said, what can we do with this motorhome? And he got some wild ideas for a great paint job on it. And there it started. So I thought we should recap for a minute and find out if that was a hard job or an easy job.
Well, it's been a long journey so far with the motorhome. It's got a longer ways to go. Now we've turned it all over to the school. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. We almost burned it to the ground at one point. If you'll notice in, I believe it was episode 3, that we screwed into the side of it and it hit something live. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did change the trajectory of our paint job, I guess. The first paint job we had, we changed our mind and Now we're making it look like Air Force One, which now it does. A couple of doors cut in it, which were a little harder than we thought it would be to do. And probably the biggest challenge while we were working on it was, well, we had to get everything off of it. It had a big awning on the side of it. We did have to get that off. We finally just cut that off and then took the rest of it off. The moldings, it had some compartments on top that we just threw off the top and busted because we weren't putting them back. So, you know, a few things like that. The doors would probably be the hardest, and those aren't quite done yet. I'm gonna still go up to the school and work on those a little bit more and get them just perfect. I'm still holding a couple of plaques hostage in my desk drawer. We haven't put them back on yet. Chad doesn't know that. so I gotta get those up to the school and put them back on so people will know it's a GMC. Of course, the rear bumper was really hard to get off. It was pretty much rusted right on the vehicle. Well, I guess the other thing, we had everything chromed, you know, the bumpers and the grill and things like that, so it looks good. That was some of the real hard things to do. Yeah, now they just got to put a motor in it and do the interior and everything else, all the hard stuff. I did the easy stuff. But other than that, yeah, I've washed my hands of it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to At Your Leisure. Now I am joined by Jim Bounds, 35-year expert with your own shop, restoring these. You're retired now.
Retired.
Which brought you out here to give us a hand with this.
Yeah, Chad called up and said what he was doing, and I couldn't resist.
Couldn't resist, and you came along with a good friend of yours.
This is Mark Creel.
Mark Creel. And you were with the Cadillac dealership way back. We're talking at the time they were building these things,
when
right?
they were brand new.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, these guys are the brains behind restoring these because they've done it for so long. They know it like the back of their hand.
Scary.
So from here, you know, I'm taking the engine.
Right.
And the engine's going to my shop. I have another one that we built by your specifications.
Right.
Got your camshaft.
That's right. See, performance engines, they think about high RPM, you know, and fast. Well, we're pulling 4 cars. That's 12,000 pounds. So that takes a performance engine too.
Yes.
But it's a different performance engine. We want low RPM torque.
Exactly.
And it was designed to turn on at about 1100
Okay.
and roll off at 3000. Okay. Because our power band is about 26,
That's
28.
it, just right there. Yeah.
Right in there. So, you know, as you saw, this is not easy to take in and out. You don't do it with a pizza. So you take every precaution possible.
Yeah.
You don't just do the motor, because the transmissions had just enough screws to hit too.
Sure.
So if the motor's shot, you do the transmission because it's so hard to put them both back up in there.
Right.
You know, another thing with the problem with these things, you run at low RPM, right?
Yep.
And if you had to put high test gas in it, you lose your mind. It costs too much.
Right.
We can't use ethanol because the original tanks are metal. This is the original tank, metal 2-piece tank, has the usual cinder in it.
Okay.
Now see, here's something odd. The inlet is at a quarter of a tank level going in. So as the fuel goes in, as soon as it gets to here, it has to push the fuel in, which creates pressure.
Right.
And it only has a single 5/16 vent line on it, so it can't relieve the pressure.
It makes it very difficult then to fill.
Right.
To get all the way full.
Right,
You
and
know,
there's 2 of
using the
them.
conventional thing. Yeah, and there was 2 of these.
Yeah, and there's 2 of these. They're
Gotcha.
sitting side by side. One's,
Gotcha.
yeah, one's, they got a cross member in between here.
Sure. So because of the fact that it was 2 separate tanks, Jim, and you had a cross member that ran in between, that's the reason for this aluminum now cross member
this,
part.
what Jason did here is this is a full aluminum bar running all the way through.
Run all the way through.
That has holes in it. Of course, it's part of the, you know, the baffle.
Sure.
But you'll cut the cross member that's under there and bolt it back into here. This is 65 gallons. Now, originally we had 50.
Wow, okay. 50 was so 225s, but now we got 165.
165
You
gallon
really,
tank.
really increase the capacity, and it still fits under the chassis. Cross member built into the tank.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, Jim, this is really good stuff, and man, I'll tell you what a great thing. Hey, everybody, stay tuned because we got more at your leisure coming up.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are at the Bonneville Garage. This is Bonneville High School, South Ogden, who, because of their award-winning program here, we entrusted with the Road Force One project. Now, we talked about a lot of things we're going to do. We did not talk about the fact that we're going to upgrade the suspension. Since GM built this really revolutionary air suspension for this coach back in the 70s, it's gone through a lot of design changes. There have been some flaws. People figured it out. But Jim and some of his friends at different builders around the country started working on a quad system where you can use modern bags you can get off the shelf. They completely isolate the wheels and they provide a better handling experience, more of a sports car feel to this coach. Now, the last phase that is going to come as soon as we get the mechanics done is we're going to move to the interior. GM had a modular interior. Everything comes out in big pieces through the back, and then you can rebuild them exactly to fit the curve of the coach, put them back in, and you got a brand new coach. We're going to do like a mahogany and gray and make it look like an executive aircraft, or in our case, Road Force One. Well, a lot more ahead. Let's check out next week's show. Well, this is just the beginning. There's a lot more in store yet. Keep tuning in because we're going to bring you updates on this exciting part. This is the most dynamic part of the restoration. And I'm really excited about it. Scott's got a lot in store for us.
Exactly. Well, we got an engine going to be coming back for it.
Yep.
So that's a big plus. But I'll tell you what, I hand it to all these guys here. Adam, what a great job you do at teaching this class. I wish I were 16 years old again. I'd sign up for it. Trust me, I'd just move right there, right across the street, and I'd come to it because this is just a heck of a lot of fun.
It is. And they've done a great job. Mark, Jim, thanks for lending your expertise to this project. We're expecting great things from you in the next few weeks. And as I always say, there's adventure around every bend.
Just get out and create your own.
At your leisure. Who wants to go for a ride?
That's me!